Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you. We are covering the case of Sebastian Rogers. He's been missing from his home since February 26, 2024. According to everything that we have learned about this case, Sebastian Rogers was last seen on February 25th, 2024, while dining with his mother at a local steak restaurant known as the Texas Roadhouse. Allegedly, he left the Texas Roadhouse about 6:22 to 6:25 in the evening, and they proceeded their way home. We do have audio information confirming that Sebastian did in fact arrive to his house on Stafford Court the evening of Sunday, February 25th. Around 6 a.m. on February 26th, his mother allegedly awoke went to go wake up her son and found his bed empty. After looking around the home for several minutes, she ended up calling her husband, which was allegedly 3.5 hours away in Memphis, Tennessee, at what is dubbed the St. Jude's Project. Since then, the roads were filled up with a lot of law enforcement. A huge and massive search effort went underway to find Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. They ended up within 24 hours releasing an Amber Alert. We're learning a lot about these Amber Alert system and the strict criteria needed to get a person on the Amber Alert. So how is it Sebastian got on this Amber Alert without evidence of an abduction 24 hours after he was reported missing? These are a lot of questions that we have no answers to as we're working this case. What I can tell you is their statements have changed wildly. Here are a few examples of the wild changes.
Was his ask, would he be able to ride a city bus?
Nothing is off the table as far as abilities. Could the young man get on a bus? I'm sure he could.
We've never done it before.
We've never rode a city bus, so I don't think he understands the process. He doesn't have any sense of money. He may have, like, let's say, a $20 bill in his hand, but he doesn't truly understand what $20 would get him.
He's good.
Right.
But he
I understand.
Money. It seems awfully funny that, he just can't seem to take care of himself. He doesn't really know much. But when we hear his father talk about him, Seth Rogers, he describes his son more capable than we've ever heard. He says his son is so capable, he goes fishing, he can shoot a gun. There's a lot of stuff that Sebastian does that, from the information we had from the mom and stepfather, we wouldn't believe. And just recently, after the 1-year milestone of this young man being missing, the mom and stepdad come out and say there was a misunderstanding about their son and his capabilities. That's kind of odd. Let's listen to that.
With his autism, is there anything else that we should add that you want the public to know right now?
I would say that he is what they would consider high functioning. He's not, he doesn't struggle with verbal communication, but he does, he does struggle sometimes with expressing himself is, I guess, the best way that I could put that. But he's so smart and he's so capable, and that I think the initial image of him that was portrayed was misleading to an extent.
Yes, very much misleading to an extent. They're the ones that were feeding the public the information about their son. So why were they being so dubious in explaining the capabilities he had early on? They treated him, or put him into the minds of the people looking for him, that he had an infant's mind. And that is completely untrue. We're going to be diving into this and more today on the Bullhorn Betty channel.
I struggle to put words to how it feels, honestly. The amount of ups and downs, the amount of possible leads that haven't panned out. I miss him so much. So at this point, it's keep searching. People keep looking. Keep searching, keep looking. We keep putting up new flyers. I know a lot of places, they take them down after so long. We just keep going back and putting more up. I refer to my original request just to anyone that's willing. Don't don't let him become forgotten. Don't let him become lost in the next story, not to supersede other children, because they all deserve just as much, if not more attention, because all children do. But I would say just please don't let him become forgotten and lost, because we're never gonna stop. We're never gonna let that happen if we can help it.
And I hope you stick around to learn a little more about these mysterious statements from the mom and stepdad and the recanting thereof. God bless. Well, good morning, everybody. I don't know if I just got a knock at my door or not, but I got these things in and my dog's running around here barking. So it's nice to see you guys. Today has been ultra chaotic for me. A meeting went over like an hour and a half, and so I'm here. We already had some information. I was preparing a video of some breaking news information related to Dane Paulsen. The bulk of our conversation is going to be delegated for Sebastian Rogers, but we've been covering this case of the 2-year-old missing out of Siletz, Oregon, and has been missing since March 1st of 2025. Give me just a second, please. Sorry, guys. All right, sorry, that was a bad. That happened. I just literally got home, and every single neighbor in the world's up my craw right now. I have some repairs that need to be, and I forgot all about those. So today's just a chaotic day for me. So it's like a manic Monday on a Tuesday. Anyways, guys, we have some updated information on Dane Paulsen. Dane Paulsen is the 2-year-old that's missing from Siletz, Oregon. He disappeared March 1st around 4:25 in the afternoon. He was there 1 minute, gone the next. And many people have been speculating. This is something that I can tell you, I do a lot of these cases. We all do, right? And there are certain things that we are expecting to, that we're expecting to see in the backgrounds of the mom and dad. It's typical. Okay. For example, there are some outliers out there, but you typically don't go from not having any problems to boom, doing something to a child. Okay. It just does not work that way. And so there's usually a lot of telltale signs, red flags before we ever get to a child or a person disappearing. I'm not seeing those in this background. Okay. We do this a lot. I know what I'm looking for, and I'm not seeing it. And it's very upsetting for me because I keep reading all of these things about this family that I believe are not true. And people are speculating on it, and speculating to the point that they're accusing these parents of something. We are the true crime genre. If you don't know what true crime is, if you don't know how to investigate a case, then make sure that you are stating your opinions and your opinions only. In this situation, we have a mom and dad that are desperate to find their 2-year-old son. Okay. I don't care what your opinion is about whether parents should be watching their children or not. This is the country. Things are a little different. I'm not going to drill that in you. You're going to have your opinion one way or another. Okay. At the end of the day, we are not perfect parents. It doesn't mean that we condemn parents for making mistakes. We support them with love and support and understanding and grace and this thing called humanity, which has been missing from this platform for quite some time. So without further ado, I'm going to play this video that I was meaning to upload, and I was where I was, horrible internet, or I would have just stepped out and did a quick live there, and I couldn't. So without further ado, I want you guys to get this critical update. There is no music behind it. I'm sorry, but again, it is what it is.
Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm taking care of some business first thing this morning, and I just wanted to touch base with you guys. I'm hearing some information about Dane Paulsen that's not sounding good from an independent source, and I saw it on Twitter. Apparently the Paulsen family, decided to go ahead and get a private canine SAR dog. And the dog led them down to the riverbed, and the dog has the appearance of what the canine SARs described as there being a deceased individual being scented in the water. So I think we're on the right trail. This young boy managed to get into the water, and they have to search to find him. Please check this out. So Harry Oakes is the SARS canine hire by the family, and he responded and met with Dane's father and obtained permission to search the property, took the dog out. The dog led the family or the searcher from their home to the river's edge. And as you can read, it is very apparent that the dog is indicating that there is death in the water. So I think we are on the right track when it comes to Dane Paulsen. While a tragedy, I don't see any criminality. I just want to remind everybody, Dane Paulsen disappeared on March 1st around 4:25 in the afternoon when he was reported missing. We learned very early on and did a lot of background checks very early on related to whether or not the parents could have or show signs of the things that we're looking for. We're typically looking for violence, drug arrest, alcohol arrest, domestic violence. Those type of things are prevalent in cases where parents are responsible for the disappearance of their child. And we're not finding any of that here. As a matter of fact, we're finding great parents that love their children, have a successful business, and wanted to live the simple life. And that's where we're at today. So for the people that are beating up this family, stop, please. This is a tragedy, and no matter what your opinions are, we're the true crime genre. That means we go after bad guys. We don't go after parents that made a mistake. Okay? Show some compassion, show some grace, and more importantly, show some humanity. God bless each and every one of you. Here's the post for you guys to read yourself. Again, I'm not here for any other thing but to put bad guys away and to expose the cases for what they are. This is nothing, there's nothing to expose here. These parents are grieving. Let them grieve. God bless each and every one of you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. God bless.
So what it says, I'm just pausing it. So what it says on March 8th, 2025, IK9 SARS was hired by the family of Dane to try to find answers for them. My contract fee was paid by a family friend. I responded, met with Dane's father, and obtained permission to search the property, home, and area. I got a scent from Dane from his bedroom, introduced it to the SAR dogs, and my dogs tracked his scent trail from where he was last seen down to the river's edge. There, both SAR dogs have a strong death alert signals: ears down, tails down, staring, and whining. What does this show me? It shows me that someone is dead in the river or along the river's edge. Rainwater can carry death scent from the ground down into the river and cause the SARS dogs to alert. My dogs were not only dogs to alert there. I observed a photo of SAR dog handlers in the sheriff's boat with her German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd canine was giving classic death alert staring, tail down. I don't know where, can't see under it, where the river, where on the river they were. So this is obviously not the news that any of us are hoping for. Oh, I just saw Brenda Brown in here. Brenda, thank you for the Tony's coffee. I appreciate it. We always love sales. We always love sales. So big heart to you. I just want to give you a shout out. Thank you so much. Now, this is not what we want to hear when it comes to a 2-year-old child. We want to know that the child's safe and sound and everything like that. We knew going into this case, and I can always kind of read law enforcement and the words that they use because, one, even long before I was on these streets for true crime, you guys know my past. It's not like I don't know how to read people. I don't know how to read cops. I don't know how to read judges. I don't know how to do any of these things. Okay. I come from a school of hard knocks. Okay. I'm a smart person. Okay. That means I learn from my own mistakes instead of somebody else's. I would have much rather have been a wise person, but I have to take the badge of smart. Okay. Long story short is even when we were talking about Sebastian Rogers and law enforcement, I'm reading between the lines of what law enforcement is saying to the public. In this case, I saw the adamant statements of law enforcement. These were ones that I personally, again, it's me. You guys have to judge for you. But I personally saw their conviction in trying to make sure that the public knew that they do not believe the parents are involved. And even with that strong conviction, we have wild conspiracy theorists out there peddling around that the parents have something to do with it. Now, I'm sorry. I need facts, and I need people that are in the true crime community that actually get facts instead of start spewing their speculation and taking cases, because it makes people that really do their job and take pride in the work that they do, it makes it harder for the rest of us to find out what's between truth and fiction. And so I'm just pleading with all of my true crime content creators across all platforms. Facts, guys. I'm not saying we theorize on this channel all the time. We speculate on this channel all the time. I don't have a problem with it. But I like the facts, and I like to speculate upon true, hard, cold facts, not assumptions built with wild minds and very creative minds. Okay. At the end of the day, these are not parents that are skilled in this type of situation. They're not, they don't have a past of criminality. I mean, these people, I just can't. I can't. So I'm not going to go harp on this too much. I wanted to give my audience the true facts as I see them. No disrespect, just a genuine question. Why does your headline always say breaking news? If you don't like it, you can, genuine answer. If you don't like it, you can leave. This is breaking news to me, and this is my channel. And if you don't like it, let me repeat it again, Miss Attitude. Trust me, your attitude can never compete with Bullhorn Betty. Okay. First and foremost, I offend people often, and I don't ask permission to do what I do. Okay. I am who I am. You are who you are. If you choose to watch. If you don't want to watch, bye-bye. Boo-boo. Have a great day. God bless. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. So at the end of the day, we're true crime. I don't know why that has anything to do with true crime content other than gaslighting me and my audience. If somebody would like, and let me put this out there for everybody. If you'd like to stay in the channel and you'd like to communicate with other people, I probably wouldn't piss in my Cheerios. That's a good way, because we don't unblock people. You can ask many people. I've got probably 1,000 or 1,200 people blocked. They don't come unblocked. So I'm teaching people on this platform, you're going to be held accountable for your conduct. There are so many people that treated me like crap that I blocked that come to me on a daily basis asking me to unblock them. And when I ask them what did they do, they tell me. And I ask them, have I ever told you if you get on the block, you will be permanent? And they say yes. All right, well, have a great day. My suggestion would be open a new account and be a little nicer to people. Because I have rules here. You don't follow my rules, well, then great. Have a great day. Don't come back by all means. Let me send you on your way. There you go, honey. Have a great day. God bless. Go piss somebody else off this early in the morning. I mean, seriously, if you wake up this grouchy, I feel for you and your family. Okay? Bye-bye, baby. Bye-bye. We're going to have a great day. I mean, I'm not sure you're going to have a great day, but I know that the people that come here with love, we going to have a great day, baby. All right. Now that we can get back to true crime instead of somebody's petty BS, by the way, somebody that needs an awful lot of attention because they're probably not getting the attention at home, let's move on to bigger fish, okay? Like real stuff. This person's alive. They can complain and moan and groan. The cases we're covering are may have grave results, both of them, Dane as well as Sebastian. So let's get back to the brass tacks. The idiots that want to believe that this family just did something to their 2-year-old son without a scintilla of fact on their side, by all means, go be on that side. We don't like idiots over here, so just go. Bye-bye. Now, if you do feel that way, let's eliminate that for the rest of my audience, because we care about the coffee club here. We just don't care about the haters. All right, so now we're going to go into the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, which we all have been here for quite a long time, for since over a year for most of us, over a year. We are encroaching almost on, unfortunately, about 13 months that he's been missing. Now, mind you, nobody has seen him. Mind you, we have had beautiful images come from the cameras in that community. So we know the quality that those images contain. And I'd have to say, if he walked out of his home by himself and on his own, he would have definitely been seen. Who believes Sebastian Rogers, a figure, a shadow, or something, would have without a doubt been seen on one of the cameras in the area? If you believe that, put a 1 in the chat. If you do not believe that, please put a 2 in the chat. And I want to give a big shout out, a big lovely shout out to my mods, my moderators in our chat. Don't ever forget to tell them thank you. All our beautiful mods here. Make sure that you have a great viewing experience. And of course, your host, Bullhorn Betty, make sure if anybody's out of line, they walk out that door with tears in their eyes. And we send them back home to their mama to coddle them. Okay, so we can agree that 1 is the superior number here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. That if we here believe with our brains that if Sebastian walked out of his home, something would have picked him up, but nothing did. So now it goes to the incredibly weird statements. Now, this particular video I dropped last night around 10 or 10:30. And I'm sure many of you guys have already seen it, but I'm going to play it here on my live for the people that may not have, because these are all the mysterious and weird statements made by the mom and her husband related to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, and it's a little problematic for me. It's a little problematic. So without further ado, and then we'll have more deliberation and discussion.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday evening. I'm getting ready for bed. I just dropped a video about Delilah's cuteness, and it is too darn cute. And I don't know why it's in. Let me refresh this real quick because it's got really crubby visuals, and it shouldn't be. It should be in. There we go. It should be in 4K quality. So. Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday evening. I'm getting ready for bed. I just dropped a video about Delilah's cuteness, and it is too darn cute. And that's on the Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. Go over there and check it out. But here is a compilation of information that really has rubbed me the wrong way related to the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And we cannot look past it, because these are the reasons we feel the mom and her husband know more than they're saying about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Check this out. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Every door was locked.
So what you're saying is that the only possibility is the front door. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying the most conceivable way possible that this makes sense is that he walked out the front door.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
He had been close to the house, or had walked off, we would found him by now.
How did they know he took a flashlight? Well, I asked that very same question today, and I was so glad that Sebastian's mother explained it to me, because when I read that news article, I was like, well, how did they know he had a flashlight? Do you want to tell us about that?
One of the first things that was asked is because he left when it was very dark outside, was if he might have taken a flashlight. And he actually has one that he plays with regularly, and I can't find it. So it's likely that he took it.
Okay. You said there was, they had asked you if there was any flashlights that were missing, and that prompted you to go look. Tell me about that. There were some questions
I will get to you in just a second, Deanna.
about the flashlight, so I just wanted you guys to reiterate that.
Right. So Sebastian had a little, it's about a little 3-inch. If you think about the little keychain flashlights, that you used to find at vendor tables they give out for free, cheapies. It was something that he picked up at one of the local festivals, and to right now we still this day cannot find it. So we are assuming that he took it with him because it cannot be found.
So the teacher reports it. Mm-hmm. That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that was shoved into one. And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3, and it caused a commotion." Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up, and I said, "Hey, how you doing? It's her again." She's like, "Oh, hey." She goes, "Hey, I already don't." She's like, "Don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened."
When the CART team did their thing on the 25th or the 26th, and I also restated that it could have very well been when you came home after Sebastian went missing.
So concerning the Sebastian Rogers case, I've been getting a lot of feedback from some different posts that I've made. Why now is Chris and Katie uploading more recent photos or videos now after years went by? I posted something on March 2nd saying, why is there no photos of Chris Proudfoot and Sebastian Rogers together? Because there is no photos, no family photos, anything of Chris Proudfoot and Sebastian Rogers. So within 2 days, there was a video that popped up. There's a video of Chris teaching Sebastian how to ride a bike. And this video supposedly was back in 2021. Sebastian was a little bit younger at the time. Then another one came up showing Sebastian how to do the excavator.
No, mistake. Ain't no mistake. Don't take wrong. Your right hand. Okay? Out. Hold. Push down. Up. Alright. Your left stick. Pull up. Hold. Right stick. Push down just a little. Keep going. Hold. Left stick. Pull back.
And at this point in time, you know, I'm not talking to Christopher. We don't, I want to make that loud and clear. We do not have a good co-parenting relationship. We don't talk on a regular basis. I refuse to talk to Christopher because everything has to be his way. I don't entertain any of his conversations. In the past, when I used to, and I thought that a relationship between him and I, and we're learning how to co-parent and it's good, it backfired. It kicked me in my ass. Everything that I told, he used against me in court all the time. Every single thing. So I had to learn not to trust him. I've had to, I don't talk to him. So for him to say on some of his podcasts is that we have good, parenting skills, or we don't know how to talk to each other. I refuse to communicate with this man.
December 7th, he turned 16.
Life is going to continue to move forward regardless of what the outcomes are.
Right.
Whether Sebastian walks in the door, they find him in the woods somewhere, or we never find him.
Chris Proudfoot, if you're listening to this, I told you. You're going to piss me the fuck off, and I don't give a fuck who knows. It's your fault. It's your and your wife's fault. You guys don't deserve to be around kids.
Okay, so there's a compilation. If you saw some of your clips in there, I just want to thank all the content creators that had these images and I was able to clip. And I brought it back to some of the statements that even Seth said, because, at the end of the day, the stuff hasn't changed. And I also think it's critical because you saw his passion, right? And that was from so early on in this case when things were fracturing at the beginning. And it's like, at the end of the day, we all have questions about this case, but our questions pale in comparison to the father that has been searching for his son. He's come under attack by the mom, stepdad, and their hooligans. Why? This man was at work. This man was doing everything he could to try to get his son. The only regret he has at this point is not taking his son sooner. Things weren't ready. Things just weren't ready. And, it's sad. It's sad that we are here in the Sebastian Rogers case. But we're going to go back. We're going to focus on this video and some of the things. I wanted you guys to hear it in its entirety. And now it's time for us to go back and listen to the clips and discuss those clips.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Let me get there.
Every door was locked.
So I think the important part is every door was locked. One of the first things that we learned in this case is that there was no forced entry. And this was critical. Why is this critical? Is because this child went to bed in his home that was locked and secured and had a military trained mother sleeping in the bed some few feet or yards, away from her son. So you would assume, which we know what assume, it makes an ass out of you and me. Just saying, not playing. So we can assume that nobody breached that home. Why is that important? Because if somebody breached that home, there would be a possibility of a stranger danger abduction. We don't appear to have that in this case. So now, according to this man on your screen, let's finish listening. Let's go back a few seconds. Wish there was an easier way so I could just get to that, but it's not. Let me see if I can just move this ever so slightly forward. That's where we need to be, right there. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Every door was locked.
So what you're saying is that the only possibility is the front door. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying the most conceivable way possible that this makes sense is that he walked out the front door.
So that this makes sense. There's other theories here, right? There are much other theories besides he walked out the door. But they weren't willing to entertain those. Why? Because that would implicate him or his wife. That's why this is the only conceivable way that this child could have left. Let's go back and listen to that just a little bit again.
So what you're saying is that the only possibility is the front door. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying the most conceivable way possible that this makes sense is that he walked out the front door.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
He had been close to the house or had walked off, that we would found him by now.
So that was on the Nancy Grace show, and we absolutely concur with that statement. If he would have merely just walked off, then they would have found him. They would have found him. He had no money. He had no shoes. He didn't even have a jacket on a very cold day. And the night that they were searching for him, that next day into the 27th, it got brutally cold, hyperthermia cold. So now they are met with the possibility of Sebastian not surviving the freezing cold weather, which put an additional pressure on law enforcement. It put additional pressure on them. Because now they're in fear that they're going to be searching and come across him. Well, listen to this. That didn't happen either. That didn't happen either. Now, we go to the first day. Okay? The first day that law enforcement arrived, we are under the understanding that law enforcement arrived a few minutes before 7 a.m., the first officer. We also learned that Katie was on her way back to the house when the first officer was dispatched to the home, which puts her leaving the community and going searching for her son much further in the story than originally thought of. First of all, we didn't even know she left the house that morning. We didn't learn that she left the house that morning until the Chronicles of Olivia interview came out. And that was the first time we had ever heard she left the property. So we dove into that allegation that she drove off and left the property and went searching for her child. She originally told us that she searched the entire neighborhood. Well, we found that not to be true, and there were some supporting information that I can't share that was provided to support that information, that she did not stop, and she didn't. She pulled out of her driveway, immediately drove out, and exited the community. She did not drive up and down her streets. Then she went toward the school. So we would assume that she was going to see if he was at the school. So what does a parent typically do? A parent that's missing a child that's going to check the school typically gets out of their car and asks the principal or the administrator there in the office, have they seen Sebastian? Did he come in early? And explain the situation so they could be on the lookout. Do you think she did that? No, she did not. She never even let people at his school know that he was missing that morning when she was right there. As a matter of fact, she went through the driveway over to the other exit of the driveway. You can't see what is done on that side of the street. And then shortly later, you see her coming back through out the parking lot and toward her home. So this is where it gets a little sticky. Is we've heard, I want to say early on in the investigation, through social media, that a woman believes that they saw a lady by the name of Kathy Bowersox at the Warsham's General Store. And then we learned that this Kathy Bowersox was related and the mother of Christopher Proudfoot. And so we're like, okay, maybe this is just a rumor. Well, then one person came forward, another person came forward, another person came forward, another person came forward, and another person came forward. These are people that are men and women that live in that community. And I absolutely, without a doubt, heard one person sit there and state that they not only saw her there, but approached her after the fact and argued with her. And she tried to deny it was her. So why would, and this is just, this is just to make your brains think. I'm not leaning one way or another. I know how I'm thinking, but I'm going to throw this out there. Why would a mother missing her child drive out of her community instead of looking in her community for her missing child? Why would she go to his school but not get out or inform any school officials that her child was missing? And why would she go in the direction of Warsham's? If you don't understand, you may need to go look at a Google map, look up Beach Creek High School. We'll do that here. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that here. And I will show you on the map. Okay. We do have it up. Let's go here. Hopefully I don't lose my, okay. This is perfect. This gives you everything you need to know. All right, guys. So this is, there it is. I think we got it. Now we have it all on the screen. So this community right here, okay, you guys see my cursor? It's over here. Here. You guys see where I'm up here. You guys see me moving some stuff. It's popping up. Okay. So now we're going to go right next to it. This right here is Sebastian's community. This right here, let me see, 1, 2. It's like right here is his house. One of these two properties is his house. Okay. So it is, so just to explain it, and maybe I should do this on Google Earth, but I'll try to explain it here. So from all of the accounts and informations that I personally witnessed, as well as heard from other neighbors in the area, it is stated and reported that Katie got in her vehicle This is just how I know it. Do your own independent research. This is my understanding. Kathy's here and she gets in her vehicle, immediately exits out of her driveway, out of the garage and out of the driveway, and immediately turns down Stafford and comes to Kellen and gets on Long Hollow Pike. She comes this way down Long Hollow Pike and turns into the driveway for her school. Now, was it this one? I think it was this one down here. It might have been this one right here. She goes through the parking lot and through this. I'm pretty sure it's this one. And she goes through the parking lot on the all the way outside of the camera's view this way. We don't see what's going on. Here is the beach market. This is Warsham's. Okay. You see this driveway comes out right here where you can make a right-hand turn and a quick left into the Warsham's general store. Then she's seen very speeding at this point, coming through this back through this parking lot, out and back to the house. I don't know what she was doing. All I know is this is Beach High School right here. She came into this driveway and could have turned right here and spoke to them, but she didn't. She proceeded around this bend over here. She proceeded to this bend. Why? Okay, so now that you guys have that understanding, let's get back to the video. I just lost my audio. Give me a second. I'll back it up about 5 seconds. 10 seconds.
Had walked off, we would found him by now.
How did they know he took a flashlight? Well, I asked that very.
This has been a very contentious conversation about the flashlights. Let me tell you what I personally know about these flashlights. Oh, what do we have here? I didn't even see anything come in. I must be paying attention. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. That's Deanna. I'm going to get to you, Deanna. I'm going to answer your question in just a second. So just bear with me until I get done with this. I did star you, so we didn't forget to talk about it. Oh, thank you. After the storm, love to all in memory of my Kelsey, gone 1 month today. I am so sorry. I am so sorry, but God bless you. God bless you.
Same question today, and I was so glad that Sebastian's mother explained it to me because.
And I was getting back to this. The flashlights. So did Sebastian have this thing with flashlights? The short answer is yes, he did. But when I talked to his father, he has flashlights at his dad's house as well. But the flashlight was a little different than the ones that, from my understanding, that were collected. It sounds to me like he has flashlights that are more full-size flashlights. Thank you, Seth. Have a great day. God bless you. That he has flashlights, and he has flashlights even at his dad's house. So the flashlights are true, but it is my understanding, and I can't remember where I heard it, and when I find it, I will definitely clip it and save it. But I recall somebody said this flashlight that Sebastian allegedly took with him did not work. It no longer worked. It no longer turned on. It was no longer really a flashlight more than it was a gadget that he could play with, right? Is that everybody's understanding? Put 1 in the chat if that's your understanding. Put a 2 in the chat if you've heard a little differently. If you do put a 2 in the chat, can you explain what if you have a moment, type in what the differences are from what you heard versus what I said. That'll help me understand that. Okay, so I'm not the only one that heard that this flashlight was a malfunctioning or not working flashlight. I agree. When he was home, I agree with that, Deanna. There was a point where he just resented Sebastian, and he felt like Sebastian was doing things intentionally when he didn't realize or understand his disabilities. I think is really in and of itself. He thought he could discipline him into normalcy. I think it was Lisa B. Always that kind of coined that. I think that when she had emailed me that one time, or I think maybe it might have been a chat post she made, it really did resonate because that's exactly what they were doing. They were trying to punish him that he would correct his behavior, but autism is autism. Chromosome deletion syndrome is a chromosome deletion. So these are things that are out of his control. And somehow this man felt he could control things that were out of his control. And I think it's sad. But I think the critical point about the flashlight is law enforcement asked them about it. They didn't just come up and say, "Oh, it seems like they asked them." They just wanted to report Sebastian missing. Now comes all these questions. And the fact that they were asking him if he could have possibly taken a flashlight with him because it was dark outside when he left, wouldn't that imply he would need a working flashlight? I'll have to go to threes and fours here. If you truly believe that the purpose, no, you don't put the threes and fours in yet. Let me let you hear the statement. Let me let you hear the statement, and then you tell me whether you assume that they were asking about a functional flashlight, not a gadget. Listen.
When I read that news, so glad. Like, well,
had walked off, we would found him by now.
How did they know he took a flashlight?
Here it goes.
Well, I asked that very same question today, and I was so glad that Sebastian's mother explained it to me, because when I read that news article, I was like, well, how did they know he had a flashlight? Do you want to tell us about that?
One of the first things that was asked is because he left when it was very dark outside, was if he might have taken a flashlight.
That is a very critical statement. So do you think that they were asking if a broken flashlight was missing? No, it sounds to me like he would have needed a working flashlight because, right, as exactly like his mother stated, it was really dark outside when he allegedly left the home, right? So would he have taken a flashlight? Well, they're talking about a flashlight that doesn't work when it was clear law enforcement was wanting to find out if he had any type of flashlight to guide him in the dark. So how is this little tiny 3-inch flashlight that they pick up from whatever, we're going to hear specifically where he picked it up from. Of course, they leave out the date because you're probably going to find out the last time he was actually out with them at a convention or something like that. It was probably years ago, i.e. why the flashlight doesn't work anymore. Hey, Pale Rider, it's nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well. All of my beautiful people in chat, thank you for being here. Oh, I see you, Jenny. You can't see me, Lisa. The real me too. I got time. And Miss Machete.
And he actually has one that he plays with regularly, and I can't find it. So it's likely that he took.
Do you guys think he plays with the flashlight more regularly than he would his Switch? We have 2 questions. Let's go 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So the 3, 4 question is, do you believe law enforcement was asking her, did he take a working flashlight? The answer, 3, you do believe they were asking for a working flashlight. 4, you don't believe they were just wanting to see if he took anything with him. Oh, Brenda, thank you, Love Bug. Thank you, thank you. I'm playing with this flashlight. Okay, now the next question. Thank you for that. So now the next question. So they were just saying, Bev believes they were just, that's fine. I appreciate your honesty, Bev. Brenda says, I have a keychain flashlight and the batteries do not last very long. Likewise. I've got one sitting in there and I've got to change out the batteries because I like it. So it's perfect for in the bathroom. I stick it on. I have like a towel rack and I put the keychain on it. And you're like, why do you need a keychain? Well, it's because my pantry does not have a light in it. And sometimes you got to look in the back of the shelves. And it's just easy for me to grab the little flashlight and turn it on and look in the back of the shelves, right? I could probably get those little sticky ones that go up on each shelf that I could just click and turn on. But, I've got this little flashlight I got for free. It cost me $2 every year and a half to put batteries in it. I'm good until it dies. Then I'll be out of sorts. But now the next question is, and this is going to be your 5 and 6, your number 5 and 6. So let me ask the question and I'll give you guys which choice it is, and then you guys answer. Do you think that he would be more inclined to play with his flashlight or more inclined to play with his switch? If you believe he's more inclined to play with his flashlight, put a 5 in the chat. If you believe he's more inclined to play with his switch, put a 6 in the chat. This is important as well. Okay. So we got some people that believe that he is more inclined to play with his switch. Everything I've learned about autism, that appears to be the case for me as well. It seems like there's something I haven't been able to define. Autism. It's an array. It's a spectrum, right? And people have different tics. They have different things that they will have a meltdown over. The autistic children have different likes, dislikes, sensory issues to different types of things. I couldn't find really commonality with all. I always try to find commonality to help guide me. But the one common element that I tripped upon on this exercise to find out what is common to most autistic children, and believe it or not, the one thing that I found from autistic child, it really didn't matter what part of the spectrum that they're on, was video games. They really loved their video games. It really allowed their brains to work. And it was for their personal and mental health. It seems to appear to show great signs for them. And so that was the one thing that I found from one autistic child to the other that I could really kind of paint with more of a broad brush than the intricacies of each of their likes and dislikes. So to me, I would answer that he would be more inclined to play with his switch as opposed to the flashlight. But when Katie explains the whole discussion of the flashlight, it sounds to me like law enforcement was truly trying to gauge if he left the house with a light source because of the darkness that night. And so if his flashlight was broken, it's kind of a moot point in what law enforcement was really asking. Just my opinion.
Plays with regularly, and I can't find it. So it's likely that he took it.
Okay. You said there was, they had asked you if there was any flashlights that were missing, and that prompted you to go look. Tell me about that. There was some questions about the flashlight, so I just wanted you guys to reiterate that.
Right. So Sebastian had it's about a little 3-inch. If you think about the little keychain flashlights, that you used to find at vendor tables they give out for free, cheapies. It was something.
So he received it at a local festival. What does that mean? Hey, Erna, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Welcome and thanks for being a member and a great support for the Bullhorn Betty channel for your 3 months of membership. We do appreciate that. God bless you. So now we learn that he got it from a local festival. When was the last time this young boy was at a local festival? That's a great question because let's face it, one of the conversations that we're going to touch on is why is there no family photos or recent family photos? Every photo that's being released to the public doesn't have all three of them in it. And even we're going to get to the excavator here in just a second. Yeah, he was teaching him something, but you could tell he was being very frustrated. Let's keep going. Let's see if this keychain, if their story changes at all about the keychain.
He picked up at one of the local festivals, and to right now, we still this day cannot find it. So we are assuming that he took it with him because it cannot be found.
So the teacher reports it.
All right. So now we have two different statements from March 3rd and March 17th about this flashlight that changes ever so slightly. I will go with the first one. The first one, I truly believe law enforcement approached them and asked them if he could have possibly taken a flashlight. I'm curious when that question was asked. She's saying, according to what she just stated, that that was one of the first questions they asked. Now, according to Smiley Stories World, according to Smiley Stories World interview with Chris and Katie, Chris had mentioned that when Sebastian doesn't clean his room as he expects it to be cleaned, he gives him 2 shots at it. And if not, then he goes in there with a garbage can and he throws everything out. Now, if this child was at a festival years ago and has this broken keychain light that wasn't put away, maybe the reason why they can't find it is because it went into the garbage can previously. Or maybe they knew about the lights video because we did hear Chris was going around before law enforcement had an opportunity. He was proactively going around, not looking for his son, his stepson rather, or his wife's son, whichever you want to call it. I think he probably referred to it as Katie's son, not his. All of a sudden, it's his son too, and he loves him the same as any child he has. We see how much he cares for Faith. So, need I not go on any further about that topic? We have this flashlight that's missing. We have a child missing. Law enforcement had already asked them about a flashlight. Chris is going around the neighborhood, talking to the neighbors and previewing any type of footage that they had on their cameras. I keep wondering, did he see the flashlight video before it was public news? I don't know. But we also didn't learn about the Department of Children and Family Services complaints until he was on Smiley Stories World, and she asked the very pointed question: has CPS been involved in his life? Has CPS been involved in this household? And while Mr. Proudfoot wishes for us to believe there was only one incident, we need to listen very, very closely because he's already identifying four different incidences out of his own mouth. Let's listen. Now we learn that there's 5.
Because it cannot be found.
So the teacher reports it. That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished.
We know what kind of punishments he gets, right? He takes all of his underwear and hands them to his father, so he has to sit in adult diapers instead of regular underwear. What's that doing to him mentally and psychologically? That's not abuse. That's not abuse. That a boy can't even have boxers or briefs. This man literally took all of his underwear out of his bedroom and gave them to his father. I find that appalling. But some people seem to applaud the parenting skills of these yahoos.
That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house.
He shows leakage. Obviously, Sebastian showed his teacher something. Was it a bruise? Was it a diaper rash? What did he show his teacher? He tried to gloss over it.
So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had.
And he caught himself. It's the same lady that we had. You're about to hear it. He changes it up. He caught himself, but he realized he had already said too much, and he tries to clean it up. He tries to clean it up. Let's listen.
So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had
the same lady we've had, and he meant to say the other times. The other times, and caught himself.
So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house.
Right here.
And the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had.
Gotcha. Same lady. So that right there told us there was more than one incident. Let's hear what Chris has to say after we learn of more than one incident. Let's listen.
And the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that were shoved into one.
3 stories shoved into one. So he's saying that the prior incident is really 3 phone calls, 3 CPS reports. And now he's talking about this new one. So she was there before 3 additional times. Now we're here. Of course, it's the same lady that he's had all these other times. So who told us about these times? Christopher Proudfoot. This isn't something the true crime community pulled out of their butt. These are statements from him. He knew that these things weren't true, and now we've learned that Sebastian showed his teacher something that he wanted to gloss over. What did Sebastian show his teacher? That's a question.
And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3, and it caused a commotion."
Caused a commotion, just mixed up in 3. He just was saying the same story over and over and over again. I don't believe it. Because we now know Sebastian's not incapable of understanding. He's not incapable of understanding. He's not incapable of instruction. He's not incapable of comprehension of those instruction. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you. It's all in here.
Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up, and I said, "Hey, how you doing? It's her again." She's like, "Oh, hey." She's, "Hey,
Who's bragging about, oh, it's her again? This is showing you the level of activity that he's disregarding. Many of us don't ever see a child, Department of Children and Family Services knocking on our door. Some of us do because of accidents, such as your child got into the pool and almost drowned. And so they had to open a report to make sure you're not a negligent parent or something like that. And that's closed fairly quickly. But most people in my audience never have one run in with the Department of Children and Family Services. And this person had 5 cases in 14 months. And he's laughing and joking about it while a child is missing on the heels of those 5 some odd CPS reports. That's site abuse. And that's what he's saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's what Mr. Proudfoot just said. Let's listen to all of that all over again. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you guys listen to it in its entirety. All right, here we go.
Teacher reports it. That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished.
Hey, Judy.
So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that were shoved into one. And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3, and it caused a commotion." Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up, and I said, "Hey, how you doing? It's her again." She's like, "Oh, hey." She's, "Hey, I'm already don't." She's like, "Don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened."
When the CART team did.
So I don't know any Department of Children and Family investigator that. Oh, hold on. Sorry, gotta come in. Okay. Sorry about that. I've still got the plugs in my ears. I'm almost done. I'll be wrapped up in about a half hour. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I got work going on here at the house. It's going to be, like I said, today is just a manic Monday for me. I got these in the wrong ears. I do. Okay. So he's saying that this is all coming from him. They have multiple reports. Then we learned on eTeach channel that what? That it is possible Chris's truck. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I just lost my spot. It is possible Chris's truck was picked up by the CART team, the FBI CART team, as being in the area between the 25th and the 26th. He's making the statement that it was after he arrived back at the house at 1 p.m. on February 26th. So why would he have the conversation with ET saying that he can't believe the a-holes didn't even know it was his truck? And comments like that. That does not make sense. That's almost bragging to me. Bragging. Why would you be bragging about something like that? Let's listen to it.
26. And I also restated that it could have very well been when you came home after Sebastian went missing.
So concerning the Sebastian.
So he's making that statement, but now I don't know what law enforcement did, and I don't know what reports the CART team had pulled, but I find it very difficult in my brain to think that that they would have pulled information after they knew he was well gone away from the house. That doesn't make sense. Why are they pulling, Wi-Fi's in the area at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the 26th when law enforcement has been camped out in their front yard since 7 a.m.? That does not make sense to me. But I digress. Now we're going to get on where this lady is talking about why now. I'm not going to go through all of hers. I'm going to go through a clip here in just a second, but I'm kind of crunched on time, as you guys can see, and I apologize about that. We will get things back on track later today once everything is settled down here at my abode. So she is talking about why now? Why all these photos now? Why did it take a year for them to start releasing photos of their child? I truly believe we now know a lot. It's not a state secret anymore. Somebody found out that when Chris and Katie gave the last two interviews, which were Channel 17 and WSMV, when they gave both of those interviews, allegedly they were in the room with their attorneys. We had heard through the rumor mill that Katie, in the past few months, I think maybe at the end of last year, potentially, had invoked her right to remain silent and had attorneys now, criminal defense attorneys now representing her. This is critical because they've been trying to tell us this entire time that we have it wrong. There's nothing to see over here, and that they're innocent and they're cooperating with law enforcement. So if that's true, why now, when the investigation has almost come to an end, are they now withholding information, lawyering up, and being uncooperative with law enforcement? And now putting out these videos that really don't show a whole lot. Let's take the crane, for example. Let's look at his behavior in this crane, because I don't know about you guys, but he seemed pretty frustrated even when he was having a teaching moment for his stepson.
To do the excavator.
So he's fine here, and he's teaching him how, and you can see Sebastian there. This, I don't know where they are. It doesn't look like they're at their house on Stafford Court. So this was, we know that they've been at the house at Stafford Court now almost 2 years, or maybe 2 years last September. I think they moved in maybe 3 years. How many years has it been? When did they move in? 2020 or 2021? Somewhere around there. Does anybody remember? I don't remember specifically what year it was that they moved in. But it's been several years since they've been in this house. So this would have been years before. And they said that this one was potentially, they said the bike riding was 2021. Okay, 2022. Thank you, hindsight. So in 2021, they have the image on the bike. Now, mind you, he disappeared in 2024, at the beginning of the year. So 2 years after the bike. And this probably appears, this is either before or after that, because this does not look like the Stafford Court property. So we know that this was years before, probably maybe around the same time he was when he did the bike. I don't know. It seemed like they had more of a productive family, 4 or 5 years ago than they do today in this day and age. So even here, I saw Chris getting very frustrated with him, but not enough that he kind of came unglued or anything like that. But you could tell he was getting more forceful in his communication. And I'll show you here in just a second.
Oh, no,
see? Right there. You can see he's getting frustrated. He did that in a very frustrating manner and a very, he, again, not screaming or losing his stuff, but you can see that how quickly he kind of gets a little more temperamental, and how quickly he gets a little more temperamental.
Don't take long. Your right hand. Okay? Out. Hold. Push down. Up. All right. Your left stick.
Doesn't this child look like a child that can understand instruction and comprehend that instruction, even on a piece of equipment he's never been on before? Why is this important? Because when we were looking at clips from Smiley Stories World, he was basically saying how confused Sebastian was and how he was, mixing all these stories into one because he was in a punishment, acting as if he didn't know what he was doing. This child, as young as whatever age he is in this video, looks like he can follow instruction and comprehends very well. But how do I know he comprehends? Because he knows which hand's his right hand. He knows which hand's his left hand. He knows when he needs to push something out, push something in, push something forward, push something back. He can understand. He is fully functioning. He understands instruction. Do you think a kid that can understand instruction and knows these things really could get several stories mixed up? I'm just saying.
Left stick, pull back.
And at this point in time, I'm not talking to Christopher.
Now, the reason why Nina was brought into this is because she's a third party, right? That has experience with him, that has come forward. Now, while I believe there is a lot of contention in this household, I found her statements mostly true. Why do I say mostly true? Is because I don't believe anybody's 100% truthful, period. And why do I say that? Is because it's their interpretation, right? They believe this is what happened, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it turned out that way. So you always have to, especially when there is bad blood, you have to decide whether it's mostly true or mostly false. I don't believe anybody entirely. I know myself. I'm a human being. I make mistakes. So I don't trust anybody 100. Okay. And it's not because I think that they lack intelligence, they lack integrity, they lack class or character. It's not that. It's because I apply the human element to every situation, because we have to understand we're not robots and we're not perfect beings. So there's going to be misunderstandings. There's going to be misstatements, unintentional misstatements. And not only that, but she has an emotional situation, which we all know that emotions sometimes override good judgment and common sense. Not that I'm saying or dissing Nina in any way. I just want to be very fair, right? I want to be very fair. And so I find her statements mostly true when she was describing events. And then we didn't have corroboration way back when she made these statements. And this poor lady went through hell. She went through a meat grinder because she spoke out about this a-hole. And quite frankly, I felt bad for her, but her daughter corroborated. Her daughter is not a young kid anymore. She's now a teenager. She can think and remember for herself. And she had this very, very appealing public statement to Kathy Bowersox and what she went through at that court hearing and what she witnessed, and how she was so terrified that Terry Bowersox was going to hit her mother with a baseball bat. That's some scary stuff, and that's something a child will never forget. Okay? So she does have corroboration on her side by way of her own daughter's experience and a statement made public by her daughter.
We don't, I want to make that loud and clear, we do not have a good co-parenting relationship.
And this is important because they don't have a good parenting relationship, co-parenting relationship with Chris's ex-wife, and they don't have a good co-parenting relationship with Katie's ex-husband. So these things go hand in hand, in my opinion. They do. It shows a pattern of behavior, and it shows a little insight into the behaviors of Chris and Katie. It does.
We don't talk on a regular basis. I refuse to talk to Christopher because everything has to be his way. I don't entertain any of his conversations. in the past when I used to, and I thought that a relationship between him and I, and we're learning how to co-parent and it's good, it backfired. It kicked me in my ass. Everything that I told, he used against me in court.
And that's what we plan on doing as well.
All the time.
Not
Every
against
single
Nina,
thing. So I had to learn not to trust him. I've had to, I don't talk to him. So for him to say on some of his podcasts is that we have good, parenting skills, or we don't know how to talk to each other. I refuse to communicate with this man.
December 7th, he turned 16.
And we know that statement, don't we? We know that statement all too well. I find it awfully funny that the one thing that we are always searching for when it comes to missing persons, not just children, all missing persons, is who the last person was around them, and whether they had motive, means, and opportunity, whether they have any type of evidence of an altercation on their person, such as scratches, bite marks, and stuff like that. And then we also look to find out, are they using past tense when they are referring to their loved one or person that is missing? And here in this case, we have all of that. We have all of it. All of the check boxes are being checked in a very bad category.
Life is going to continue to move forward regardless of what the outcomes are.
That is the most despicable statement I think anybody has ever made on the heels of a missing child at almost a 1-year milestone. Disgusting.
Life is going to continue to move forward regardless of what the outcomes are.
Right.
Whether Sebastian walks in the door, they find him in the woods somewhere, or we never find him.
This is from our beautiful Hindsight. She's in chat right now. Beautiful Hindsight. And this is her work. We've had a lot of still images that have been enhanced. But it took a lot of work for this to be done while the video is moving. She even gives you its 2-time loop plus 1 zoom, 4K, 24 colorized, 0.5x speed, flashlight video clip car approach. So giving all the details on how to recreate this image if you so choose. If you so choose, you can recreate this image from the flashlight video. Thank you, Hindsight, for all of your diligent work. I don't want to leave Mama Rissa behind either. Thank you as well. I know you guys work tirelessly along with a lot of other people, but this is a kudos to Hindsight and her diligent work on this process. And they keep Bullhorn Betty on the straight and narrow too, because I was looking into the image that was provided to us by that weird guy that works for the Proudfoots. And what I found was that the image was compromised. And had it not been for Hindsight and Mama Rissa, I would still be going over that image probably to this day. I can't pick and choose which stuff I want to listen to and which stuff I do not. Okay? I don't get that opportunity. If something is compromised, the work stops on it. Okay? If the actual image that you're working on is compromised in any way, you cannot work it. Throw it away. It's a waste of time. You're not going to get any useful information because you cannot arbitrarily say this image is compromised, but you believe this section of the image, but not this section of the image. It doesn't work that way. Once an image is compromised, it goes in the trash. We no longer talk about it. We no longer can use it. It's compromised until we get a good, clear copy that's not compromised, no work can be done on that. So, big shout out for them. But again, if you guys want to recreate this, it even says colorized edit. So they put some color so you can define the image. So this is definitely appreciated, and I know it takes a lot of work to get something like this. And I just want a big shout out to Hindsight for the work that you guys have done. But this right here, they're talking about moving on with their life, even if they find him unalive. Well, who is this with a big blob in their hand carrying something to an unknown car? I'd like to know the answer to that. Because when we had the enhancements near the car, they had body builds and figures that look very similar to who's on these interviews disrespecting their own son and stepson. They have the same body type. Now, granted, I can't see their faces. I can see one where it looks like somebody's leaning into a car that appears to have the same clothing and hairstyle as when they left the Texas Roadhouse just a few hours prior to. Just saying. Just saying. So you can see there's something there. There's a lot more there. And again, if we have this much information here on social media, what does law enforcement have? That's what I'd like to know. What does law enforcement have? I guarantee it's a heck of a lot more than us YouTubers have. Just saying, because that's common sense. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you for taking the time to let me dive into this. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be dropping that little clip of Dane Paulsen. If you guys did not get to see it, please go back to the beginning of the breaking news. Not looking good for Dane Paulsen. I believe that he went into the water. It makes the most sense that he went into the water. And now we have an independent person kind of corroborating the findings of law enforcement and the people that have been praying over this family. And to get back, we're not leaving right now. I wanted to get back to Deanna. I promised her I would. And she says, BHB, parents are responsible 100% for their children. It is not a mistake when a parent does wrong to their children. They need to take responsibility when there is a tragedy with their children. Now, I was unsure if you were speaking about this related to the Sebastian Rogers case or the Dane Paulsen case. And so I have a statement for both because it's hard for me to ask you when you're in chat. So let me try to answer it this way. For Dane's parents, yes, I believe that, there were mistakes that happened. And because of their slower and more comfortable lifestyle out in the middle of nowhere, I'm sure they weren't thinking of the river. Okay. Did mom and dad take their eye off their child? Yes. But they are taking responsibility and they have to live with their decision the rest of their life. We are a true crime community. We show love and compassion to those that deserve love and compassion, and we throw the book at the people that need the book thrown at. If we need to publicly embarrass people, we publicly embarrass people. We bring the public pressure to some of these cases, and this is just a case that I feel it's a mistake many parents make. And, the results differ from parent to parent. In this case, it's most likely that their son died. We are true crime. An accident doesn't fall in our category of work. Okay. Not that we can't discuss it and stuff like that, but there's no crime here. I didn't find that these parents have been ultra neglectful or gross neglectful or anything like that. This is a situation that happened. Now, on the other hand, and we like to show we are here for support. If we're all perfect, that would be one thing, but we are not all perfect. We've all experienced a time. I mean, think about it. And we don't go and condemn people that are in stores that take their eyes off their children and their children are kidnapped by predators. We don't blame them for that, but they took their eye off their child and now their child's deceased as a result of it. It's an accident, it's an oversight, it's a mistake. The punishment that these parents are going to provide themselves for the rest of their life doesn't even compare to what we could criticize them for. I choose to come from a place of love in a situation like that, a place of understanding, in a place, and I feel like it's our responsibility to uplift families in crisis. And in the case of Dane Paulsen, I feel like this is a family in crisis. This was not expected to happen. Now, if we heard that they were beating the crap out of each other or they were on drugs in the house and really didn't care about their child being in and out, or this child had to take care of themselves, my whole statements would be 10 times different. We'd be leading the charge with the pitchfork, okay? But that's not here. Now, getting to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, BHB parents are responsible 100% for their children. It's not a mistake when a parent does wrong to their child, and they need to take responsibility when there is a tragedy with their children. And I agree with that. In this situation, we do have a history of violence with both of the parents. We have a history of abuse alleged and perpetrated among or toward the victim, which is now missing. So it's a whole different story. We have criminality in one and no criminality in another. So you got to do a balancing act. And if I don't know, I try to side. If I really had a stink eye or just was I wouldn't help a parent either way until I knew for sure. But this is one I've done enough. I've spoke to enough people that I have a good gauge on it. And I just don't believe the way some people are making this family out to be. It's not what I'm seeing. It's not what but on the other hand, with the Sebastian Rogers case, I feel like it's far worse than we're envisioning. Just my personal opinion. But thank you for the question and allowing me an opportunity to give you my insight. Now, I'm one person. I'm not in the area of either one of these. I've been able to research thoroughly only the Sebastian Rogers case. We're still in the infancy of the Dane Paulsen's case, but we are working around the clock to try to get ourselves with a bunch of information so we can better inform our audience. After the storm, thank you, Brenda. As always, thank you. And thank you so much for the coffee. Keeping Bullhorn Betty fueled by Brenda Brown. Brenda, I have a keychain flashlight and the batteries do not last very long. Thank you for that. Pale Rider, was Sebastian scared of the dark? I know he was scared of bugs. He had a grass allergy. He had sensitivity to loud sounds. So I don't really know specifically about the dark, but some of the other things that are introduced on the outside of that home in the middle of the night, he definitely is. Thank you, Erna. And look at that. Our beautiful Melody gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Thank you so much. And to whoever received the Bullhorn Betty membership, welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. I love that button. Anyways, guys, thanks for being here. I'm going to go get back to my chaotic day, and I'll see you later this afternoon. Be there or be square. God bless to all. Yay, we made it through. All right, guys, I'm out. I got things to take care of. God bless. Oh, I'll play that later. Do I play it now? I'm going to play it now. Sorry, I got to because these fools suck.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV. Oh shit! First cops, now this. Oh.